Welcome to this explainer. You know, for centuries, we humans have looked up at the night sky, just longing to get a closer look. But the actual tool that finally allowed us to pull the heavens down to Earth, the telescope, well, it has a totally misunderstood origin story. So today, we are setting the record straight. So who actually invented the telescope? I mean, most of us were probably taught a very specific name in school, right? You're probably picturing a famously bearded Italian astronomer right now. But as we'll see, history is rarely as simple as a single genius just having a sudden, solitary eureka moment. The great myth here is that Galileo Galilei invented the device. And don't get me wrong, he is an absolute giant of astronomy, but he definitely didn't invent it. The truth actually traces back to 17th century Dutch spectacle makers. See, lens grinding technology was already pretty well established among these craftsmen, and that really set the stage for a frantic race that would absolutely change the world. Section 1, the 1608 patent race. Let's dive right into it. Just listen to this incredible primary source quote, "Foreseeing things far away as if they were nearby." That revolutionary little phrase comes directly from an October 1608 patent application. It was filed by a Dutch spectacle maker named Hans Lippershey. And because of this formal submission to the States General of the Netherlands, it officially stands as the very first documented record of the telescope. But did Lippershey actually get the patent and just walk away the victor? Well, actually, no. He was really just one of several craftsmen who were experimenting at the exact same time. Almost immediately, a guy named Jacob Media stepped forward with a competing claim for a very similar device. And, just adding to the chaos, family accounts later claimed that someone named Zacharias Janssen created one as early as 1590, though, to be fair, historians consider that totally unsubstantiated today. But because of all these competing claims flying around, Lippershey's patent was blocked. The damage was done, though. The secret was officially out. Which brings us to Section 2. Galileo looks upward. So, what did Galileo actually do? Well, his true contribution was one of just brilliant adaptation. In 1609, word of this new Dutch perspective glass reached him. And he didn't just buy one off the shelf, he actually engineered his own vastly improved version. But his real undeniable genius was what he did next. He didn't just use it to look at ships on the horizon. No, he pointed it up. By making completely groundbreaking discoveries, like finding the moons of Jupiter, he showed everyone what this thing could really do. He didn't invent the tool, for sure, but he completely revolutionized its purpose. Moving on to Section 3, Newton's reflecting revolution. Throughout the rest of the 17th century, the telescope just kept evolving, eventually leading to a massive structural shift in 1668. That is when Isaac Newton built the first practical reflecting telescope. By doing something pretty radical, he used mirrors instead of lenses. Up to this point, literally every single device out there relied on shaped glass. But Newton realized that mirrors could actually solve the annoying visual distortions that constantly plagued those early glass lenses. It was a completely brilliant, practical reimagining of the whole device. When you step back and look at it, the pace of this innovation is just staggering. In 1608, we get Lippershey's initial patent application. Then, literally just 1 year later, Galileo adapts it to discover the moons of Jupiter. And a mere 6 decades after that, Isaac Newton comes along and fundamentally transforms the technology using mirrors. In basically just 60 years, humanity's entire ability to observe the universe was completely rewritten. From those early glass lenses of the Dutch spectacle makers right through to the brilliant mirrors of Isaac Newton, these rapid innovations laid the absolute groundwork for the massive observatories and the space-based telescopes that we totally rely on today. So as we continue to refine how we gather light from the deepest, darkest corners of space, it really makes you wonder, how will the next generation of perspective glasses change our view of the universe? It's just wild to think that all of our modern cosmic discoveries trace their roots back to a blocked patent application in 1608. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep looking up and keep asking questions.